Welcome to Mishna study, Masechet Terumot Pickled Mishna Hayat. Over here in this Mishnah, after discussing in last Mishnah Terumot olives that were pickled with Holin olives. So on that topic, we're going to speak about unkosher fish that was pickled with kosher fish. So you pickle these fish in the same jar. Now what happens? Are you allowed to eat the kosher fish, or does it take on the status of the flavor of the unkosher fish? So that's going to be the discussion about Mishnah. Dag tamesh kipashoim dag tahor. Person pickled unkosher fish with kosher fish. Kol garav shu mahazik sa'atayim. So it's going to depend on the measurement over here. If you have any jug that holds sa'atayim, right? Sa'atayim, we have to remember how much is a sa'atayim. Always remember the acronyms that we use, the measure, we use the ke'askelab yagodu. So the se'ah has 24 log, right? So the se'ah to the kav to the log. So you have, six, there are six kav in a se'ah and 4 log in a kav. So you have 24 log in a se'ah. So 2 se'ah is going to have 48 log. Now, im yeshbo, so in this 48 log, you have enough fish. How much fish do you have? Mishkal asara zin bihuda, shen hamisha sila'im bagalil. Right, depending on the measurement, one would measure, in Yehuda they would measure in pounds, let's say, and in the Galil they would measure in kilo, right? So you have 10 zin, right? 10, which is 10 zuz, right? That's how much you have you have 10 zuz worth of this fish in this jug that's holding 48 log, right? So if you have 10 zuz worth of dag tameh, of unkosher fish, in this jar that's holding 48 log, that's going to be the tziro, right? The fish brine, right? The actual juice, the brine in it, is going to be asur. Because I'm going to say, okay, that has too much unkosher fish in flavor in the brine itself. Of course, you can eat the unkosher fish, right? Over here now, we're speaking about the brine. The brine itself is going to be asur. What's this exact ratio? So if you take the exact ratio, once you have 48 log, right? If you just, if you play that out, the 48 log, within that you have, right? Each log has, right? Sorry, each log has 200 zuz in it. So the 48 log is holding 9,600 zuz, and you have 10 into 9,600, which the ratio is 1 out of 960, right? So this is how the Gemara explains it. The Talmud, the Yerushalmi explains that it's 1 out of 960, and this is the opinion of Tanakama over here, that if you have 1 to 960, the brine is going to be asur. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, revi'it b'sa'atayim. If you have a revi'it log in 2 se'ah, right? So a quarter of a log in 48 log, right? That comes out to 1 over 192, right? That's going to be asur according to Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yosef Omer, right? Rabbi Yosef says what? If you have one in a 16th, right? So he's going to be the most mahmir over here. That already then, even a 1 in a 16th ratio is going to be asur. Now, all these measurements that we mentioned, we already mentioned exactly how you calculate everything in Masechet Pe'ah. Just important to know, halacha is not like any of these opinions in the Mishnah. Rather, it's similar to close to the Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda is 1 out of 192, but halacha is 1 out of 200. If you have one unkosher fish, 1 pound of unkosher fish, right, to a ratio that's in a jug, right, a jar that would hold 200 pounds of total fish, then the brine would be asur, and that's what the halacha is like.